Можливо, заїхали в болото. Коні встали, не йдуть, хоч їх цілуй. Молитися не можна, божком собольці. А чорт з-під землі, але Господь її рятує. Їхала шляхом, 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 червона гіра, гіра, гіра. Їхала шляхом, 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 червона гіра, гіра. Люди вклав, фірма свобода. Де ж ти, скорий сину, всіх нас завіз? Тож перша робота, фірма на болото. Ну а по-друге, перефарбуєм віз. Був червоний, он де заїхав. Буде жовто-синій, бо
Yo, what's up? Here we go. That's right. You guys stoked for this or what? That's right. You got your Tweezer reprise opener. We're ready to rock. Is everybody excited? What up, rivals? What up, y'all? Oh man, another good week we got for you here, guys. We got some cool stuff to show you. Terry was alluding to it a little bit in the chat the other day. We got some cool images going. I saw all your questions this week. I'm going to try to get to as many of them as I can. We're again going to do our little segment called Meet the Robots. It seemed like everybody loved that last week. What up? What up, everybody? Yeah, thanks for coming. Glad you could be here. Let's do this. So, yeah, what's up, guys? How was everybody's week? I saw a lot of people posting questions in the Discord. I appreciate that. It gave me some stuff to ask the team. So, why don't we jump right into that? Because that's right. That's right. We live and die for this AMA. Well, dude, I live and die for it too. It's actually like my favorite time of the week, getting to hang out with everybody. I know I talked about trying to get together again with you guys over the weekend, but I actually was out of town for the weekend. I was at a wedding. I was at my good friend Mars Utah, who's from Metaforce Comics. You guys probably know him from his work with Metaforce and his own YouTube channel and his work with the crew over there, Rick Courier and Left House and all those guys from the Upland crew. Those guys are all part of, those guys are all work with Green Rabbit now too. So yeah, my good buddy Mars Utah, he got married this weekend. So I was away all weekend. I was in the beautiful upstate New York Adirondack Mountains. It was a beautiful setting. We were on a lake. It was amazing. Did he wear the mask during the wedding? Yes, and I have pictures to prove it. No, he actually, of course he took it off, to kiss his wife. But no, I do have actually a hilarious picture of him in the mask at the wedding, of course. Let me see if I can grab it. So. I just dropped a picture of me and the famous Mars Utah at his wedding. I had to drop that into the Telegram chat. I don't know how to drop it into the Discord chat. So if any of you guys are watching and you want to see a picture of me and Mars Utah at his wedding, you guys can jump on the Our Planet Telegram and check that out. So yeah, guys, I just saw, was there hints no, there's no hints during the wedding. No hints at all this weekend, I don't think. So question one, where's Terry? So yeah, I love Terry too. Yeah, Terry can join anytime he wants. I know last time he was there, we had some technical difficulties. He then, I did the show without him last week. Everybody, it obviously seemed to go fine. So and I was actually in the process of setting up this week's show. He jumped in and said, "Hey, do you got this, man? Or you want me to come join?" And I said, I got it, dude. But yeah, we'll have Terry back. I miss Terry too, man. Terry's around. He's in the Discord. He's in Telegram. He's everywhere. He's in Canada. So he's doing what he does. So so I'm seeing some questions rolling in the chat. So. Yes, Terry is alive. You can take off your tinfoil hats. Yeah, I know that the COVID Gestapo came in and he literally was interrupted during the stream. I think people showed up at his house. I know shit's crazy right now in the world. Oh shit, nice. J.R. Young dropping the actual picture from his Twitter from the wedding from Mars, Utah. That's awesome. Shout out to my man J.R. On that. But yeah, there is going to be a use case, obviously, for Aether in the future. I've said that like 10,000 times, and we know this to be the case. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Let me jump into a couple questions first. Just go over some of the things just before I get into some of this cool stuff. I know you guys had dropped some pretty good questions this week, and honestly, I had a talk over this week. Actually had another meeting today with Nazar that he wasn't able to make. He had a meeting with the lawyers right at that same time, and I was actually really busy today too, and we didn't actually get a chance to meet back up. So some of these questions I actually don't know, but I did get some really good information for everybody, and I'm kind of excited to share it. Um, the one cool thing about sorry, I'm reading here. I got a little bit distracted here, but okay. So I was going to jump into some of the questions. So some of the questions from the, and props all you guys who went into Discord and bothered to try to ask questions. I do always try to get an answer for everything everyone wants to know. Sometimes there isn't actually answers all the time, to be honest. But I wanted to quickly address some of these, and then we'll get into some of the fun stuff. So, will there be support for scatter for the auto in-game generator? I asked that specifically. I didn't get a concrete answer, but I basically told them, yeah, look, we need to have scatter support. That's got to be the deal. People want to whitelist transactions. We all love scatter. Well, some of us love scatter, some of us love anchor. But yes, I'm hoping there's going to be scatter. I'm going to push for it. So that was one of the questions. Another question: how will the play to earn aspect translate into the conquest part of the game? I haven't seen or heard any information on that first part. Okay, so look, I don't know a ton of information about that exact aspect, but the one thing that we know for sure is the minerals have value, right? You can go trade them right now and sell them for wax or for whatever, right? And obviously anybody can create any pool they want, right? Like there can be a pool for weakenite, selenium weakenite, right? Like if someone wants to be swapping out their tokens they're getting from a whole nother game, they could do that. So anybody can start a pool for anything they want. And the one thing we do know for sure about the conquest part of the game is that there will be battle for lands, and that minerals will play a part in that. And I wish I knew more about it and I could go into the details. I'm going to find out a lot more about this next week. And also we're all going to find a lot more about this in a few weeks when the documentation comes out for the next part of the game. I know there's some people asking about this yesterday in the Telegram. I know everyone's really anxious for the white paper / documentation about the actual real conquest game here that's happening. And I know I said last week that it's going to be coming in a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I asked today for a more concrete date. The only thing I could get was as far as a time frame was early to mid-September. So we're still looking at 2 to 3 weeks out. I asked, did it get delayed at all? Because I thought we were only, 3 weeks out as of last week. And I found out that there was actually some changes. So the one thing that I learned is that there's actually more buildings even than there was when I had saw the documentation. So I think there's as many as like 10 buildings now, which is actually crazy. I didn't know that there was going to be quite so many. So I think that what's happening is as they added some functionality and keep adding these elements to the game, they're now testing all this stuff too, right? So and they can't just now that they've added this new building, it really involves doing some testing and making sure the balance is right. And so yeah, 10 is more than 7. You're exactly right. So there was going to be I'm not even sure exactly what the original buildings were, but I knew that I know that it's been increased twice. So it's actually kind of cool because all these different buildings serve all these different functions within the game, and I just think that the more, as much as we don't want it to be more and more technical, because of course that's that's kind of, I don't want to say it's what's holding it up, but they did add to the functionality of the game. And so with that, of course, comes more design, more UI work, and of course they're working all that into the documentation, and of course the numbers all have to work out. And so I think the technical documentation is going to be really specific with the numbers, and so I think that they're working through all that now. And I was promised that by next week I'll definitely have a little bit more information on that for you guys, and also have some more information on the next steps of the generator and what's actually coming for the current phase of our planet. So let me jump back into this really quickly. Okay, so the other questions were from the Discord. One comment, actually, it wasn't really so much of a question, but just a simple way to bring people back to the game. Let people buy land with Aether. Going by today's market, 50 to 100 million Aether would work. That's actually a great point, and I actually agree. We've talked about that before, and I love that idea. And if there's any, I can't say that that's happening. I don't know for sure that that's happening, but the one thing that the one thing that we can do it. The one thing that we can do is look at what the team is done and is doing in the past. And if anybody's paying attention to what's going on over on Prospectors, which is actually having their sale this week and again next week as well. The open sale is actually next week. The land is actually right now selling for PGL, which is the actual in-game token for Prospectors. So, it stands to reason that the team understands the value of letting the current players who are invested in the game and who are holding the token. The team understands the value in making those tokens have value in the game. So, I'm not making any promises here, but I think common sense would dictate that the team understands that Aether is important. It's the lifeblood of this whole ecosystem that they created, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a part of it. Kumbaya's in the house. Shout out to Kim, homeboy from our main moderator, head moderator, recently promoted to head moderator. Kim Kumbaya is in the house. Props to Kim Kumbaya. So, what do you guys think about jumping into checking out some robots? I know last week everybody was super stoked on getting to see what some of these new robots looked like. So, who is Kim? What are you talking about, Lucas Joe? Kim is literally the head moderator. Kim's holding down the fort, y'all. So, pay Kim the ultimate respect. Kim is there with the patience that we all wish we had. And, props to Kim. And props to all you guys, too. We got the best community, I feel like. I know there's a lot of really cool communities on Wax, and I feel like we're all kind of intertwined. We're all really one big Wax community. I don't like to feed in any kind of tribalism or anything like that. Like, I don't want to act like we're the original OG. I was actually part of the original, the OG community, right? Was this group of us that were around for the GPK launch, and we started this group, the GPK OGs, right? And that was kind of fun because it was sort of like the original OG group, right? And there wasn't a lot going on Wax at the time, and we were all speculating on where GPK was going to go, and it's kind of fun, a year or whatever, a year and a half later to see where this whole space has gone. And yo, what's going on, Sean? I hope you're watching the live stream right now. Oh, and there's my man David Palmer in the chat. I hope you're watching the stream too, my man, because we love you, bro. All right, it looks like everybody's here. So, yo, what do you think? I'm gonna queue up some. Another AMA. Yeah, Sean, that's what we do around here. Don't you know? Every Thursday, same time, same place. Oh, hey, speaking of that, guys, I want to do another AMA that's at a different time. I see a lot of people. I know a lot of you guys too stayed up. Look at watching from Australia. Holy crap. There's people who are literally watching from like Eastern Europe. It's like the middle of the night right now, and there's people like all around the whole planet. And same time, same place. Exactly. I'm here like clockwork. Go, 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 go. And we're live, guys, coming to you each and every day like an atomic clock. That's my Ivan impression. So yeah, I appreciate all you guys who basically are staying up to like the wee hours in the morning just to catch this. Yo, we got Blackbeard in the house. We need to have you on as a guest, David. We need to have you on as Our Planet official guest to one of these, so you can come on and we want to have Blackbeard on the show is really what we want to have. So I see people are here from Canada. That's crazy exotic. Canada, that's like all the way in the north, all the way up there. But yeah, so it's 2:00 in Greece. Wow. That's what I'm saying. So like I know people are basically like staying up all night to hang out with me. And I, as much as I totally appreciate that, I also would like to make it fair so like that we could kind of like mix it up, and maybe I would do it like what would be in the equivalent of like the morning for me. So that would be like, earlier so that you guys didn't have to like stay up all night. So just know that I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe I'll talk to the team and we'll figure something out for next week, and I'll try to change up the schedule and do something a little earlier in the day. So yeah, like I said, robots. You guys excited for this little segment I've now dubbed Meet the Robots? For me, that's kind of like almost like my favorite part because I'm getting stoked for this whole robot scene that's happening, or that's about to happen. Um, what had occurred to me is we almost need to have some we need to have some like music going during this whole thing, right? I gotta figure that out. I gotta figure out how to have like actual background music so that you guys can still hear me. And what'd you guys think about that opening? What'd you guys think about that opening music I had playing? I don't know how to pronounce this band, right? But so here's a cool little story for you guys, right? So you guys know when I was just in Ukraine, Terry and I got to go to Ukraine. Well, after Terry left, I made my way to this festival called ANA Musical, and this festival was awesome. And I got to hang out with all these Ukrainian cats. Sorry if you guys couldn't hear me. Sorry. So this band that was there was playing this song, and dude was like explaining to me all what the lyrics are really about, right? Like, first of all, I love this. I love all the like culture, all this like Ukraine stuff, all the stuff I learned in Ukraine about like the history there. So no, it's not mariachi music, dude. It's like this like rock sort of like, it's not really rock either. Here, listen to this for a minute. I'm just gonna be quiet. You're here for me, not for the music. Well, come on, dude. The music is part of it. Well, if you guys don't want to hang out, hey, anybody who's not into hanging out, that's cool. So yeah, I thought it would be cool. I kind of yeah. So the band, it's like I wish I could. Here, I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna drop it into the chat. So I don't know if you guys can read Ukrainian. Yeah, I know it's the middle of the night. I know. I'm sorry, guys. For me, it's fun to do that. So anyway, I don't know. There was this whole cool story about that band and how they were like anti-communism, and they were like this was around like in the 80s when it was like Ukraine was still like under Soviet control, and as we all know, guys, communism doesn't work. Neither does fascism. Pretty much like anything where centralized control. I think we're all here in crypto for one of the things that we all love about crypto is, yeah, they are from Ukraine, dude. That's the whole thing. These guys are from Ukraine, right? And yeah, dude, it's like this like cool punk rock reggae kind of thing. And these guys were like hardcore because they were out there like basically like the words of the song are all kind of very much like basically like dogging on communism, basically, right? They're basically talking about how communism doesn't work. They're trashing communism in this song, right? And as you can imagine, like under like a authoritarian rule, like they're not really cool with like people trashing on their whole thing, right? So these guys were kind of like pushing the envelope, right? Like these guys were like trying to be like like typical punk rock, like, right? Like we don't give an F. We're out here, we're gonna speak our truth. And I guess it was like dangerous. No, you're exactly right. I totally agree with you. Socialism doesn't work, Sean. It doesn't work at all. And the problem is Oh, I got way off track. Okay, I hear you guys. Okay, so check it out. I'm reading the chat. You guys are hilarious. Yeah, I know it's funny. Okay, so check it out. So, thank you guys. I appreciate your patience because for me it's kind of cool. Dude, I love it, Sean. That is what we're gonna do. We're building these robots to defeat the fucking communism, fascism, and fucking centralized control. So let's get back to the topic. Rivals, right? Let's do this. Are you guys ready for the conquest part of this game? Also, by the way, I'm pretty excited for this. So we have. I have some. Last week we did a segment called Meet the Robots, right? And I brought to you guys the infantry, right? I think last week we did infantry, right? So the whole idea was kind of like, so as you guys all know, right? There's all these different types of robots. They all serve different functions in the game. As you can imagine, you know, you have these fortifications. As we looked at this last week, right? Like you're gonna have these plots, you're gonna build walls, you're gonna have inside these walls, you're gonna have these buildings, and you're gonna have different ways to try to fight each other, right? So like I know one of the cool types of robots is like these rams, right? So you're actually like trying to break down their wall, and then you also have the catapults, right? We all remember the catapults from the contest. So you know, catapults are obviously like lobbing like bombs over the wall, and then you're gonna have these rams that are gonna like crash into the wall. You're gonna have these like artillery battles. You're gonna have the infantry. You have these scouts, right? And the scouts, the whole job of the scouts is to kind of like, whether they're like flying over the wall or whether they're like spies, they're gonna be like checking out what your opponent has, right? So there's all these cool different types of robots, right? So today I decided to bring you Meet the Cavalry. So today we are going to meet the cavalry robots. Are you guys ready for this? These are the cavalry of the herbivores, right? So yeah, what do you think, guys? I love this artwork, right? Speaking of artwork, I got something cool to show you guys at the end. Yeah, I hear you, Hodl Ether. It would be cool to get a teaser video. I'm not even sure there is a video yet to get. I think it's literally, you know, the actual game is still in the testing phase. See, Bones, is this game 24/7? I'm going to wake up to sleep, my land destroyed by groups. So, you know, there is going to be, you know, yeah, the game's going to be obviously just like crypto, right? It's 24/7. It's going to happen 24/7. And, you're going to count on your homies to be helping defend your land, and you're going to be defending their land, and it's going to be awesome. So yeah, so this is the yeah, you're going to team up with people, and so these are the first cavalry, right? So take a good look at these guys. This is one of my favorite types of robot too. So, and let's check out the next ones. These are the Predator. These are the Predator ones, right? I know everyone likes to call this guy the Boston Dynamics. I know they make that robot that looks similar to this. He's got I don't know if you guys can see that. He's got this cool ass like necklace. And this other one's this like mono wheel looking thing. I wish this was like a cartoon, like we could watch that guy on the monowheel driving around. You can imagine like the noises it makes. I don't know. It's just cool. I can't wait to see this shit like animated. Yeah. Right, exactly. Hold a message for blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. Keep the chat chill. Props to our mods too. I know you guys are watching the chat. I appreciate that everyone's positive now too. I know we're all here for the same reason, right? We just want to hang out and talk. We just want to hang out and talk our planet and chat and chill. And yeah, so we're all here for the same thing. All right, let's check out the third ones. These were the ones that were the last robots to be released, these primates. And these ones are cool. These like purple and blue ones, right? Like we saw the first ones of these last week, and these are the cavalry of this type of robot, right? He's got these cool like laser cannon crab like pincher deals, right? Um, I think it's cool. So yeah, that's a good question. Is ether going to be combined with land elements to make these? Yeah. So it's like, so that is going to be kind of part of it. I don't know. That's one thing that I really am excited to learn about. Just like I'm sure all you guys too. Exactly how ether will be part of the whether how it's involved with the buildings and the building of the robot. But the one thing I know about the buildings, right, is like the buildings all have to do with the robots, right? Like the buildings are very specific to the robots. I know one of them is basically like specific to like the building of the where your cavalry robots are stored, and all these different functions for the different buildings, which I'll be able to go in more in detail into this next week because um I know that I'm like I said, I'm going to learn more about this during this week. So I'll be able to get more into that specific aspect next week, which is what I know everybody really wants to know. So I wish I could go into more detail into that right now, but I really just don't know, honestly. And I don't want to say stuff that's like totally wrong. And from what I heard too, it's like um, there's like I said, there's changes. Like these new buildings just got added, and just today I was kind of talking to Luke and Yulia, and they were telling me about how with some of these new additions, some of the stuff that I knew previously is actually now sort of changing and morphing. So even I don't know exactly. So I can't wait to learn, and whatever I learn, I'm going to share with you guys. So so no, it's not Waxon. So they're all the three different. There's the three different types of robots, right? So like uh, the predators, the primates, and the herbivores, right? And so each of those robots are going to have like there's like a bunch of different kinds of robots of each of these types of robots. So of those three like species. So think of them as like each of them are like a species, and then each of those species are going to have several different robots that all fill a specific function, like infantry, cavalry, like I said. Yeah, so Ukrainian beer has flour in it. I don't know if it has flour in it, but that's one thing I learned about when I was there, right? Like Ukraine, I didn't know it was actually. So speaking of wheat, right? Like, Ukraine in general is like, I kind of learned is like the bread basket of Europe, right? So it's almost like the middle part of America where it's like huge, vast expanses of grain, right? And so because of that, you can imagine they were making beer going back to like the Middle Ages, right? And so you had these monks that were like making beer that was like prized the world over, and they were actually exporting the beer from like Lviv to Bavaria and to all these other places all over Europe because the beer was so like heady from Ukraine, right? So I see some questions in there about when hint. So what do you guys think? Hint, 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 hint. Will there be a specific time for building robots? So that's kind of all part of the how did you know that, dude? How did you know this? I see Kashi Dota in there saying, "Not light, please." It makes me wonder if earlier when I had because dude, seriously, somehow I started streaming when I was setting up the chat, or setting up this stream, and somehow like it started streaming before I was totally ready. So yes, so all you guys saw it. I appreciate you not blowing the lid off it. If anybody knew that, it seems that some people already knew it. So some people knew this a half an hour ago. I really apologize. Yes, it's a premium element between 5 and 10 million Aether. Um, yeah. So the idea behind this too, it's like there's some changes coming to the game, right? We all know that there's some cool stuff coming. That they're actually right now focusing on fixing up some of the things like we talked about last week, right? With the part with this part of the game, the alchemy part of the game. They're going to be building. So this is a cool thing I can actually tell you guys about. the what's being built right now, right? So I talked about how there's going to be, and actually one of the questions in the Discord actually was kind of specifically about that. One question I wanted to get to, it was kind of specifically asking about the uh, the element generator. And okay, so here we go. Somebody specifically asked, if I only wanted to use the official website for our planet to play the game, how am I supposed to know the recipes that have been tried, or even know a single recipe for any element, or even the newly invented? Aren't these features important enough for the team to have added these in the last 6 months, or are they just good? Or are they just good with third-party Ivan's tools, and they paid him for that edited? No, actually, Ivan doesn't get paid, just like Pigwig didn't get paid, and nobody else. Anybody can build any tools they want. One of the cool things about blockchain is just a gigantic data set, right? We all kind of know what blockchain is, right? Blockchain is just basically a method to store data in a way that it can't be manipulated after it's recorded, right? So in a nutshell, you just have this giant database that can't be manipulated after the fact, and it's public information, right? Now, what's kind of fun for some of the more like techie sort of people is to figure out cool ways to scrape that data. It's as simple as that, right? So guys like Ivan and Nick Custers and Pigwig and Wehoman and all these guys, right? These guys are like they're sort of like the tinkerers of the space, where they know how to use the tools. They create tools. I think okay. So here, that's a good point. That's another good point, right? I think thanks to people like Ivan and Pigwig, the devs can focus on it. No, you're exactly right. It's a great point because, but also having said that, not only did it make it so that the devs didn't have to build those things. Part of it is because right from the beginning is kind of like, it's kind of like people are going to build these tools, right? But it's up to them whether or not they share them. And in a way, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys were, whoever was here at the beginning kind of remembers, right? There was this real sort of like community sort of coming together to share these hints. Like when we first came together to invent things, like going back to the very beginning of our planet, I remember literally having like a piece of paper with all the recipes written down on it. Now, of course, that wouldn't be practical like now, but at the beginning, when all the recipes consisted of like the 4 basic elements, you could literally keep track of them like on a notebook. And so I remember having like a notebook and having all the elements, and people are just sharing them. So of course they were being shared in the Telegram. And as they were shared in the Telegram, people were just saving them, right? Well, it didn't take long before people realized, like, wait, we need a more efficient way to do this. So there was some guys early on. Mikey, who's one of the Discord mods, he was one of the guys early on who made a spreadsheet, right? Do you guys all remember we were all using Google spreadsheets, basically? And it was really fun, right? Because different people made different tools. We were all kind of like, it wasn't really like a competition, but like in a way, people were like competing. Like, I'm going to make the coolest tool and everyone's going to want to use my tool, right? And basically, people just decided, I'm going to make this tool and I'm going to share it with everyone. And that's sort of cool, And so yeah, to answer that question from Discord, yeah, like of course the devs know that the information's there and people are gonna. It's up to people to gather it and use it as they wish, right? Having said that, excuse me, whoo, there is actually some tools being built. We talked about this last week, right? There's gonna be some additional tools being added to the generator, right? So the one thing I kind of want to just emphasize about this one sort of point, right, is this is going to come in phases, right? I know last week I talked about how one of the things that was being talked about was a shop, and the shop was the point of the shop is going to be so that people can buy elements basically like further down the list, right? Well, that's going to be one of the later things. That's not going to be what's coming first. What's coming first is going to be upgrades to the UI. And those upgrades are going to start with things like just basically improvements to the generator, right? And I know last week I addressed the CPU issue, and this came up again in the meeting this week. And yes, I'm not going to go into the specifics of it now, but just so that everybody knows, there is a plan, and these upcoming UI upgrades and the upgrades that are coming are going to alleviate some of these CPU issues. So just so that everybody knows that. Yeah, I mean, wax cost for craft. I mean, that's just like the reality of it. Is light achievable right now? I don't know if it's achievable right now, but we gave a hint. So the hint was that it was a premium element. I'll drop that again in case anybody missed it. The hint for today was light. So we got the hint for light. The actual hint was the fact that it's a premium element, which means it costs between 5 and 10 million. People can take that information and do with it what you will. I hope some people decide to make some tries. If not, maybe it will at least help to add to the list of cool hints. So, and I think the idea is too, is that sorry, I'm just kind of like reading some of these questions in the chat. So yeah, light was the hint. And I know I know that one was kind of maybe out of left field. I thought it was a little out of left field, but I kind of like the fact when it's kind of like we get these kind of random hints that are all kind of in different directions, because then it's just kind of fun to kind of keep track of them all and put them in order. So I'm gonna forward this message to the chat. I just realized I didn't actually do that. So yeah, the hints forward into the group. Light, that was the hint. So yeah. Yeah. So a lot of people are talking about the Green Rabbit Snapshot event. Yeah, good luck to everybody who's trying to take part in that. I know I have some stuff staked in Green Rabbit too. I'm excited for that game to come out, for the next phase for their game to come out. And I think they got some crafting aspect that's coming soon. But yeah, so yeah. What do you mean? I don't feel safe having the game held hostage by a few members with these important tools. All the tools are made available to everybody, bro. Like, thank God that Ivan and Pigwig and all these guys are cool, and they build tools for the community to use. Because otherwise, could you imagine if they just formed like little cabals and decided that like they were gonna just kind of make tools and share them with their friends? Or worse, imagine if right from the beginning, like say Pigwig made that auto crafter tool and decided he was going to charge $5 a pop to use it. That's totally up to him, and that would have been his right to do. He built the tool. It's his site, and he could have done that. So in that case, it kind of would have been like not really holding people hostage, but it would have been like a pay to play service, right? And these guys right from the beginning were like, no, I'm pretty much gonna just like make these tools and give them to everybody for free. So there is nobody's being held hostage with anything. There's tools, they're available to use for free, and of course the team implemented for now this ability to they added the CAPTCHA, right? And they wanted to try to sort of make the game more about pre-crafting and having your act together and using your brain and kind of trying to project what you thought would be in recipes, and also just having a whole bunch of level 2, 3, 4, 5 elements crafted. And those are the people who are actually playing the game, who are the ones who are still getting the 600 NFTs that come out when there's an invention now. So yeah, sort of gone are the days where you can just sort of wait for someone else to do all the work and then just jump on Pigwig's tool and try to craft a couple. I know I used to do that too, and it was fun, and that's not really like that anymore. And hopefully soon when the team makes these changes, we're gonna have some cool. We're gonna have another cool way to play around with actually being able to invent or craft items in the game, and yeah. So yeah. So yeah, guys. So I kind of wanted to. I got one other cool thing to show everybody. I'll answer a couple questions here first. Um, while I'm chilling. If someone crafted them all themselves at the start, we wouldn't have the same ether price. If it was before the game. Oops. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point, man. What will the play to earn aspect be? I kind of talked about this at the beginning of the stream. I don't know if maybe you missed it, but like the right off the bat, we know that the minerals have a value. All your lands are just right now spitting out money. And I think that's the other thing that people don't really. I think so many people are missing this right now, right? So many people aren't actually taking advantage of like going all in on upgrading their lands. And you got to think about it, guys. Like if you have Aether right now, right, you have a lot of choices of what you can do with it. You can go dump it on the market. You could buy minerals with it to prepare for the next stage of the game. You could be pre-crafting FTs to try to hope that you're ready to go when an element gets invented, or you could be upgrading your land, right? And you got to think like, so just think about it. I just kind of want to just make this point real quick. If you are holding your ether with the hopes that you're going to jump on the next invention when maybe you don't care about trying to get the inventor's prize and you're just hoping that you can get one of the 600 NFTs that are going to pop off, right? Well, the whole point of that, right, is to increase your Aether production, right? Well, because then you're getting another NFT and that NFT is stakeable and you're going to increase your Aether production. And that's awesome. And that was the main part of the whole game before, right? Well, now a lot of people have a lot of Aether production. And sort of where the game is evolving, if you kind of think about what's happening, is like you can be now using that Aether production to actually be increasing your mineral production, right? And you got to imagine, like, we see all these cool robots, right? Like, you guys saw these robots, right? Like, this is what we're doing. We're building these robots, right? Everybody knows what's going to be happening. You need the minerals to build the buildings. These robots are built out of those minerals that your land is actually going to be producing. And you can be using your ether to like be getting more minerals. That's like the name of the game right now. I mean, I know some people, maybe don't have land, and so you don't have that option. But think about it, guys. You can be actually using your Aether to just straight up buy minerals from people who want to sell them. Also, having said that, you guys also realize like you can literally just be sticking your Ether into pools on Alcor, and not only can you be like making some extra, like you're theoretically like profiting from that too, because like as people make trades, like you're earning a portion of the fees by doing that, right? So there's all these different things you can do. I kind of forgot to mention that when I was like talking about all the things you can do with your ether, right? Like one of the things you can be doing is actually just providing liquidity. So instead of dumping your ether, you could actually provide liquidity into the pools, and then you might actually be increasing your ether, or you might be increasing your weakenite or your caponium or whatever. The point is that you could be making more passive income even by doing that. So there's so many things you can be doing. So a lot of people are like, what can we be doing with our ether? And a lot of people are just dumping ether. And in the meantime, yeah, that's true, Sean. A lot of people don't understand how the pools work. And if you need to know, jump in the Telegram and ask. There's people that are willing to explain it, but it's really not that complicated. But if people don't really understand about how liquidity provision works, like, so think about, there's pools, right? So if you want to go trade your ether for Caponium, you swap it, and that means someone else has that Caponium in the pool, and they're waiting for someone to swap it out, and they're willing to trade you for that ether, right? And so for the people that are providing those pools, they're actually getting a little portion of the fees. So now not only can you be like, you can earn a portion of those fees. It's like passive income, So Yeah, that's like another thing you can be doing. But in the meantime, you're also increasing your minerals, which is like, it's kind of we're kind of at the point of the game now. Like I don't know if people really remember or not, right? But like we can launch this staking platform, right? Like I'm gonna like keep it real really quick for 1 minute here, right? You guys need to remember this. We can launch this staking platform, and it was live for like 2 months before there was a generator. Tokens were being spit out. Weekend had never done a sale. They never sold one single NFT. Nobody from Weekend made a cent, and the contract was spitting out ether for staking cards like Blockchain Heroes, Garbage Pail Kids. What were some of the other early ones? Maybe like I know Dark Country was maybe one of the early ones, but the point is that yeah, no, that's a good point. Impermanent loss. I can talk about that in 1 minute too, but I'll finish this point. So there was tokens being spit out, right? And some people, as soon as they had a value on Alcor, there was people immediately dumping them, right? Because I'm getting these free tokens and they have a value. Like, why would I keep them, right? But then the generator was launched. The game went live. The first phase, the alchemy portion of the game, and some people who had a bunch of millions of ether sitting around from staking for 2 months, those were the people who got inventions early, and those are the people who were able to experiment, and those are the people who minted a whole bunch of NFTs, right? Like a whole bunch of the people who are now whales and krakens were able to mint a whole bunch of NFTs early because they had saved that ether, even though it had a value and they could have dumped it. They saved it to use to play the game, right? So now let's fast forward to where we are right now, right? We have these minerals. We know they're going to be used for a game. Some people are dumping them. Some people don't care about getting them. Whatever, right? Think about if you want to be positioned in the next part of the game, which is actually the real game, right? The next phase of the game, this conquest game, is our planet. This is the planet conquest game that was envisioned the whole time, where these robots are going to be battling, and it's going to be this hugely expansive and able to scale blockchain game that we've been waiting for. If you want to be well positioned in that game, do yourself a favor, figure out how to get more minerals, and position yourself so that you're a force and people want to team up with you to be a force in the game. Let's see. So yeah, no, you're exactly right. It was funny at the beginning. Is the ratio between ether and minerals price versus racks really that much? I think the ratio. So to answer your question, Lucas Joe, the ratio of it's all just supply and demand. It's literally just what people are willing to pay. The same way that ether price is a function specifically of supply and demand. If people are selling it, the price goes down. If people are buying it, the price goes up. It's the same with the minerals. It's just a matter of who's buying and who's selling at any given point, and that's it. So, and yeah, somebody mentioned impermanent loss. Like, you guys should look up impermanent loss. There is the ability to make Hurricane. You're right. There is the ability to theoretically be down on one pair or the other, right? But the whole point of impermanent loss, right? It's not permanent loss. It's only permanent loss if you remove your tokens from the pool, right? So the whole idea is, especially when you're adding to liquidity pools, the more volatility there is, but the more it's the more fees you're going to be earning, right? But you're looking for equilibrium, and theoretically, like, you could be way down on one side of the pair, and then over time it could work its way all the way back up to where you're down on the other side of the pair, and it all has to do with supply and demand and the free market. And if you're just leaving your tokens in the pool, very often it works out that you're not really having any loss, and you can just ride it out and wait until they're basically back to equilibrium. In other words, the pool is back to somewhere around the levels where you actually put your tokens into the pool. And so you can then remove your tokens from the pool. You have no impermanent loss, and you've collected fees for the entire time, right? So learn about impermanent loss. Obviously, it's not zero risk when you contribute to liquidity pools in a swap like that. So learn about impermanent loss. There is obviously some impermanent loss. In most cases, you're making more from the fees than what you're losing with the impermanent loss. But it's important to learn about all that stuff. But do your own research. Wow. Peckham says at one point he had 87% of the PGL Aether pool. Wow. That's pretty crazy. So that means you were making a ton of fees if people were actually swapping that out. And in fact, now that the sale is in PGL, oh, I never even thought of that. Like, right now, this guy, Peckham, he's saying he's basically holding down the PGL Aether pool, right? So think about this, guys. There's a sale for our planet. Excuse me. There's a sale for Prospectors lands. Next week, that sale goes to the public for the last of the lands that are unspoken for. So, you can scoop yourself up some PGL from Alcor. You could go hit up your man Peckham and theoretically swap Alcor for use Alcor to swap your Aether for PGL tokens. So that's just another thing to think about. This person says we need to know about the actual game to start stacking minerals from Aether, or else getting waxed on a more detailed game. Blah blah blah. So you're right. Of course, as I said earlier, the game documentation is coming for the next phase. It's gotten a little more complicated over time, and the documentation is taking longer to finalize. We will for sure have it within the next few weeks. The team said, mid-September at the latest. And once but in the meantime, the one thing that we all know for sure is that the minerals are integral to the robot building. I will say that again. If you want to build these guys right here, you're going to need minerals. So do what you have to do to upgrade your lands, because that's what this whole game is going to be all about, right? So, yeah. I can't stress enough that, if you plan on playing the game in the future, you probably want to. How many minerals do you need? You need all the minerals on a break. How many minerals do you need? You need all of them. Get as many as you can. It's kind of like saying if you want to invent in our planet, how much Aether do you need? Well, you need is all of it. You want as much as possible. You want to be a Kraken. You want to be a mineral Kraken, right? And I don't know what that is. We'll leave it up to the Discord guys to come up with a system on on what levels you have to be at what minerals to be a Kraken or a whale or a dolphin or a fish or a guppy or whatever. But I would say stack minerals. So why is Weakenite land more expensive than the other land? That's a good question, Peckham. So the other thing that we know a few things concrete about this next phase of the game, right? One is that minerals are integral to building robots. The other is that these robots, these guys right here, when you want to actually go use these guys and drive them around and go blast other people's robots and blast the alien robots actually at first, because that's how this is all going to start. We kind of know that. These robots basically live on Weakenite. That's like their fuel. Weakenite is like the robot fuel. So people obviously know, well, Weakenite's going to be pretty important. I think that's why there's a premium on the Weakenite lands. I think there's been a premium on the Weakenite lands like since the beginning. Having said that, there may or may not be like some way to actually be getting Weakenite like from the actual land itself. I think that's like what was kind of explained to me by Nazar. So, but I don't want to go into that because I don't know, and I don't want to say anything that I'm wrong. I don't want to say. So do they actually die? That's a good question, Sean. I don't know if they actually die, but they might just be like resting. So I think like, how that's where the buildings come into place, right? So like you have these buildings, and basically if your robots are incapacitated, they're chilling until you can re-up them. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, this dude's pointing out again that Gnome City advertised a bunch of crap and that it didn't work and blah blah blah. So yeah, dude, all I can say is that we've never advertised anything that's not going to happen. We know for sure that you'll be able to use all the Our Planet NFTs that you own. You're not going to be, every land that you bought will be part of the game. So you're not going to have to worry about anything like that happening where you've now invested into Our Planet NFTs like land, etc., that you're not going to be able to use. That's not going to happen. So do our robots help us to rebuild our walls, or do we rebuild our walls after we're attacked? Sean says, maybe we use Aether to rebuild them. That's a good question, Sean. And that's kind of how I'm envisioning. I can't actually speak to the specifics of that. We're gonna literally know exactly how that's gonna work in when this documentation comes out. But as of next week, I'll know a little bit more about that, and I'll be able to maybe talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, that's exactly how it's gonna work, Sean. Like you're gonna be constantly getting attacked and needing to rebuild. It's just like war, right? Like in war, you have supply lines and part of the strategy of war too is like to attack people's supply lines, right? And also people do like siege, like so that's why in this Our Planet game there's siege weapons, right? Because you could like surround. Maybe like part of the strategy is like you surround someone's land, and you don't let them go out and try to conquer more lands to get more minerals. So now they're stuck relying on the minerals that they're mining from their lands, right? Like the lands that they've upgraded, and maybe that puts them at a disadvantage. So there's going to be all this strategy that's going to come into play. And it's going to be really cool to watch unfold. And there's going to be some cool, like, typical war strategy type stuff that's going to happen, You think about how actual wars are fought, right? Like in the olden, the times when, people would surround a city and they would basically, like, wait them out. Like, they would basically surround a city and basically be like, you're not getting out to get any more food. And eventually you're all going to be starving and we're going to win. So, it's kind of like that, with robots. People are going to need minerals. But all of that is still kind of... we don't really know. Yeah, we like a good siege. Everybody likes a good siege, right? So speaking of the siege weapons, there's some of my favorite weapons. You guys. Do you guys want to check out this? Do you guys want to check out something really cool? Speaking of the siege weapons. Okay, let me load this up because I have something really cool to show you guys. I'm going to show you in 2 minutes. I just need to basically they're in my computer and I need to basically set it up so that I can show you guys, okay? So let me just let me put on a tweet prize and cue this up and I'll be ready in 1 minute. Okay, guys, I'm back. I got it. Sorry about the abrupt cutoff on that tweet prize if anybody was into that. 1 second. Okay, so I'm here. Check it out. We were talking about siege weapons, right? And I know I told you guys I had something cool to show you. Sorry, it took me for a minute to cue that up. I just didn't want to have some kind of technical difficulty here. First, I'm going to show you something pretty cool, actually. Check this out. Our guys are busy making some... our guys have been busy making some cool 3D images, actually, right? This is something that Terry actually hinted the other day. As I'm reading through these questions too, I just want to kind of, it's like, Sean nails it. The point of the game is the same as any other crypto game. You're going to get something and sell it to earn wax. I mean, that's what play to earn means. There's an element to the game where you can get something that's worth money, right? So I don't really know what that other comment was about, because that's pretty much like the whole point of hashtag play to earn, right? So I'm going to show you guys a cool 3D image here in a minute. You guys want to see this thing? Captain Pig. Kind of cool, right? We need to get this man another scene to cut to. What do you mean? Do you mean my transition, Zort 225? If you think I should have a new transition and you know how to make me one, I'm all about using it, bro. All the tools that I'm using actually are community built tools. Shout out, I know I've shout out every single show to Maxi. He built these tools, and also dude's name is I always mispronounce it, but it's like Chappy or something. He's also one of the around Discord. These guys helped me out and helped me make the tools that I have, and so shout out to them. And if you guys don't like the transitions I'm using, by all means help me make some new stuff. Oh, sorry guys about the about the music. I have to figure out how to do that, how to dial in, so when if I play music, you guys it doesn't blow out your eardrums. I'm sorry. So, yeah, Crypto Powder says I had to hit the bong, not to lie. No comment on that. No comment. So, this person says, for instance, like if it took 1/3 of the weekend I powered a robot as it takes to craft an Ethereum, soon you'll make a second robot, the road's out of whack. Not to mention, I think the name is a dead ass giveaway, naming the most important element after the company. Well, I don't know. I think it's just like they come up with names, just like Caponium is named after one of the guys that works for the team. I think it's just kind of cool. Like, I think they're just kind of like naming it. That bald spot, though, I know. That's funny, right? Okay, so guys, this is what I actually wanted to show you. I can't see him anymore. What do you mean? All inventors should get a 3D printed one of those so I can see it from my friend. Do you use OBS? Yes, I use OBS Zort 225. And as you guys all know, I've just learned this whole thing, right? Like, I literally didn't know how to use OBS a month ago. I was totally intimidated by it. It's definitely like there's a learning curve to using the software. I figured it out on my own. I had some help from some of the guys from Discord. I know people were busting my balls for some of the issues. But pretty much, yeah, I figured it out. I'm here. I'm doing it. I'm making it happen. People didn't like when we did the call on Zoom. You guys were calling me Boomer, Zoom Boomer, Boomer Zoomer. So, yeah, that's the Inventor Pig. Okay, so check it out. Haters gonna hate. Fuck that. I like the transition. Reminds me of my favorite shows back in the day. Like Attack Show. Yeah, thanks, bro. So, yeah, I am a little bit of a Zoomer Boomer, but yeah, just so you guys know, like, I'm totally not a Boomer at all. Like, I'm totally not even close to a baby Boomer. I'm not that old. I know I have, like, gray in my beard now, but I'm literally not, like, that old. I'm pretty old now, but I'm not that old. So, yeah, so check it out. I am a Gen Xer. You're exactly right, David. So, guys, this is what I wanted to show you. This is kind of cool. Ready? Here we go. Oh, man, that's going kind of slow. Let's fix that. There we go. This is that cool-ass robot from, like, the... Turn down the... Yeah, I know, dude. I'm sorry about the volume. So check it out, dude. You guys see this robot? This is like that cool one, right? Oh, no, there's no laggy game issues, dude. That was just going slow because I had the speed adjusted a little too slow. We'll just listen to the rest of that tweet prize. So the song is Tweezer Reprise by Fish. Yes. So I can't pronounce your name, but somebody asked, can you play this game even without a LAN? Yes, I talked about that maybe last week or the week before, I don't remember. But yes, you're going to be able to start when the game launches. You're going to be able to go basically. There's going to be like 3 plots, right? And I kind of told you a little bit about the lore, and we're actually going to get some more about this soon too. And I'm excited about this aspect of it too. But there's going to be an aspect where you're going to be able to battle robots for a seat at the table, so to speak, right? Like the robots are obviously coming in. They're trying to take our minerals. You're going to be able to, as a new player, roll in and battle them and use the minerals that you've taken with you from, whether you've got them from Alcor or whatever, and you're going to be able to just basically start trying to like fight for a spot on the map. And you can hold down a spot on the map. You won't have the NFT, but you'll have a spot, and you can basically start to build stuff, and you'll be able to fight. Yeah, the head is actually a cannon. I'll bring that back up. That's what I love about this guy. Like so he's got 2 cannons like above his head. So to me, the head, it's so weird. We call it a head. It's not really a head. It's kind of like some sort of, it almost looks like a cannon or something, but like a camera. It almost looks like some sort of like eye. That's how it like is like seeing where it's going, right? Like that's the like remote viewing. Can I pause this? Let's see. Boom. Oh, look, I can pause that. So check it out. So like, look at this thing. So it's got these 2 like cannons. That thing just looks so cool, right? So it's got this like sort of camera looking like eyeball thing where it's head, and then these 2 cannons, and I don't know. That thing looks badass to me. So really nice. Cool. So that was one of the robots I wanted to show you. You guys have already seen that robot already. I think we've shown that. I think we showed that maybe in one of the other AMAs or something. But I got one more to show you here, guys. So so check it out. I got one more to show you here, guys, and then I'm gonna wrap this up because I've gone over an hour now, and I need to go eat some dinner here. Wait, it's gonna be a browser game, yeah. Hope this will be so good we can conquer Axie. Yeah, I mean, dude, just think about it. Axie Infinity has been around for over 3 years, right? There was people who owned like go read like DC Blogger, like Maddie, he's saying like there's people who own like the equivalent of what would be worth millions of dollars worth of land in Axie like 3 years ago, and the game was just slow, right? Like, dude, like these games take time to build, and everybody wants everything like right this minute, and they think this game is like needs to launch and be like a full AAA game like with 10,000 players or 100,000 players or 1 million players like on day one, and that's it's just not how this shit works. It's like, dude, Axie Infinity had like 50 people playing it 3 years ago, right? And now it's like the token is like on the top of freaking coin market cap, right? Like, dude, it took years to build up to that, right? And it's because Ethereum took years to build up to that. Like 5 years ago, Ethereum was like, 6 years ago, Ethereum was $10, and before that it was $1, and it was like, and then 4 years ago it was $100, and then $350, and then $1,500, and then it went all the way back down to under $100 in 2018, right? And you know how much Axie Infinity was worth in 2018 when Ethereum crashed back down to under $100? Like, dude, nobody cared about Axie Infinity 3 years ago. And so the reality is you should just like kind of think into the future of where this game might be going, where this whole space is going, where the NFT space is going, where the play to earn space is going, and then kind of decide like if you're in it for the long term and you stick around and you be patient and take everything with a grain of salt and just sort of have fun, that's the best way to do it, because then you're not going to be disappointed. And if in a bunch of years this all turns into the game that we're all manifesting it to be, we're all going to be stoked. So are you guys ready to see this last really cool 3D robot before I get going and eat my dinner here? Is the new roadmap clear? Yes, and there will be a new roadmap, and I actually found that out about too. There is actually going to be an updated roadmap with some more concrete dates now that the documentation is coming out, and that's going to be coming out sometime right around the same time as the game documentation. So just so everybody knows, there will be an updated roadmap. I would expect it in the next, like, again, 2 to 3 weeks. Bones, when is your own Twitch show? This is my own Twitch show. Oh, you mean just like, okay, so I talked about this. I just mentioned this earlier today. I am going to do like a more general, like wax sort of based, show. And yeah, if anybody wants to come hang out with me, and yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do, Lucas. I'm going to do kind of like another show that's going to be sponsored by Crypto Lions, and I'm going to kind of do, sort of like like Anders does. I'm going to kind of like keep an eye on all the projects in the space. I'm going to kind of do interviews with people who are launching new projects. I'm going to kind of help everybody keep track of all the cool stuff happening, staking on all these platforms. What are the new launches? What's so speaking of what's launching, you guys know that Metaforce is launching their actual comic book tomorrow. So these guys are doing really cool stuff, guys. If you guys don't know about what Metaforce is doing, they're going to be a legit. I mean, they are a legit company already, but I can really see in the future. I could see, they're going to be a force, Metaforce, and they're doing cool stuff. So we should support them. They're going to actually be doing some cool stuff. So their sale is tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time, and you guys should support the original artwork and projects coming out in space. So here we go, guys. This is the other 3D robot that I was excited to tell you guys. Here we go. Boom. Ready? We'll sit and listen to Sweet Prize for a couple minutes and just watch this spin. So Peckham asked a good question. Why no NFTs on these? So the actual, and Lucas Show says they should do NFTs as these as rewards. Both of these things are pretty much like happening, right? So the one thing though is that why are they not the NFTs, these robots that'll be used in the game NFTs? Because that would defeat the purpose, and nobody would need to buy land at that point, because people would just go buy robots from Atomic Market, and then they would just show up in the game and blow everybody up, and whoever, you'd have dudes that were you'd have whales come in and they would just buy up all the robots, and then people wouldn't really need the minerals as much, right? So it's like you kind of want people to want the minerals, because if you're playing the game, you want those minerals to have a value, because that's what the land produces. So this is by design that these won't be usable in the game, but that's not to say that there maybe won't be, like we've talked about this before, there is going to be this aspect where there's going to be these rewards, right? Like we're not just playing to take lands, right? Like there's an aspect to this game where there's going to be these rewards, these NFTs that people are going to win. So I don't know if that's where these 3D robots come into play, but as you can imagine, they're pretty cool. And I kind of want like the real life toy versions of these. And you can imagine that, yeah, guys, there's a lot planned, and you can just kind of use your imagination on where this is all going. And yeah, it is so deep. Like Gigaman says, details where the arm connects to the body is so detailed. That's what I love about these 3D robots. Like there's like really sick like detail when you really look like really close. Like I don't know if you can see, if you guys can see all this stuff, like even like those exhaust pipes, right? Like when you look at them really close, like it just looks super realistic. Like slow that down so you guys can see this a little better, right? This one doesn't quite have all the is detailed. The mechanized parts aren't quite as like detailed as that the one that looks like the Boston Dynamics dog thing there. But this part, like in the back, right, when you really look at like all that chrome, like where the thing looks all like, you know, the actual mechanics, like where the arms like connect to the back, and you can even see the reflection in the chrome. Like you guys see like where it's like the exhaust pipe on the top, and you see like the reflection. Like it's just so sick. Like the detail is just awesome. Anyway, I hope you guys liked that. That was like what I was excited to show you guys. I'm going to have a whole bunch of more really cool images to share with you guys next week. I was hoping to have a bunch of stuff to share with you guys more this week about the actual new stuff coming for the game, but it wasn't ready yet. And I wish it was ready, but it gives us more stuff to look forward to next week. Like I said, we're hoping that maybe I can jump on, like I can jump on with you guys anytime. Like maybe I'll make it a point to jump on earlier in the day so you guys don't got to stay up all night. Maybe I'll get some more of these 3D robots to show off to you guys, for all the people who couldn't make it to stay up all night. Maybe I'll jump on with you guys early in the week and try to do one earlier in the day so that everybody can make it. I appreciate everybody who stayed up late, and everyone who's here, and I appreciate everybody's positive comments, and I'm super stoked to be able to share this with you guys and share this whole community with you guys. This is #OurPlanet. Let's keep it that way. Let's keep growing it. Let's keep being positive so that when new people show up to play the game, they really see how awesome of a community we have. And thank you guys, as always. Much love. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys hanging out with me. And I'm going to, on that note, I'll leave you guys with some more reggae punk on the way out. Appreciate y'all, guys. Much love. I need an exit graphic too, so if anybody wants to whip up a cool exit graphic, kind of like this, but that says, you know, thanks for coming, something like that. I appreciate it, bro. You're an OG. All you guys are OGs. Much love, y'all.